My name is Jennifer Woodard, and I'm a 5th grade teacher at Central Intermediate School in East Baton Rouge Parish. I'm deeply committed to creating learning experiences that are both meaningful and engaging to all students. I believe it's essential to make a learning exciting and memorable while intentionally meeting the needs of a diverse community of students. I will be teaching the opening lesson for Unit 3 of 5th grade Social Studies Curriculum Gallopade. By the end of this lesson, students will be able to use prior knowledge to explain how the environment of a region influences the way of life for Indigenous people. In our district, the 3 chapters within this unit are combined. Therefore, this lesson serves as an introduction to all 3 regions before focusing more closely on the Southeast region. Prior to this lesson, students have been introduced to an overview map identifying the locations and major physical features of each region. To activate and build upon their knowledge, students will examine 3 images, one representing each region, and describe how they would survive only using the resources visible in the image. This activity challenges students to think critically and empathetically by placing themselves in the role of the Indigenous people that lived in the region. To support student thinking and ensure all criteria are met, students will use a graphic organizer during this activity. My classroom includes a range of learners, 9 students with IEPs, 2 students with 504s, and 2 students who have recently exited the English Learner Program. To provide appropriate support, students are strategically grouped with a mix of achievement levels, and I will circulate throughout the room to offer guidance as needed. Some students may engage in verbal discussion rather than written discussion, which aligns with the accommodations in their IEP. Following the opening activity, students will revisit the overview map and use evidence and reasoning to determine which image corresponds to each region. These predictions will be referenced throughout the unit as students explore each chapter in greater detail. After reading the geography section of the textbook, students will independently complete an exit ticket in which they describe how the environment of the Southeast region influenced the way of life for the Indigenous people who live there.
Right. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at the picture. You're going to analyze the picture and determine, can you figure out which region we're in? Are we in the Southeast? Are we in the Plains? Are we in the Northeast? Then you're going to look, what would you do for food there? What would you do for clothing? What would you do for shelter? How would you communicate with other people? And anything extra in that image that you could use to survive. Once you and your friends have filled in the entire graphic organizer, you're going to scream out, "We survived!" And Miss Woodard's going to come check it to make sure that it makes sense for that picture. Do we all understand? Yes, ma'am. Any questions? Are you ready? All right, we're boarding on the plane. We're getting dropped off, and here is our first location. Good. All right, so which region do you think this picture is in? Do you think it's in the Southeast, the Plains, or the Northeast?
I don't think it's good. I don't think it's the
Why? Okay, it has trees. It has a different kind of landscape. All right, so now you have to determine if it's the Southeast or the Northeast. What do you think? Okay. What do you think, London? Why? Y'all can help her out. What made you think that, Riley? Do y'all see lots of water? Okay, look at the trees themselves. So the Northeast, we talked about how they're up top by the Appalachian Mountains. So they're gonna have big, thick green trees. Do we see big, thick green trees? No, so what region do you think we're in? The Southeast, right? All right, and then start thinking about what you're gonna do to survive. All right, what are y'all gonna do for food?
fish and plants.
How are you gonna be able to plant things? Okay, there might be food on the trees. Think about our physical features. What are we located near? Water. So what's the soil gonna be like in that region? Fertile. So what could I do? I could plant some crops, right? Okay. You got it, Austin? All right, where do y'all think we're at? What evidence tells you that we're in the plains? Uh-huh. Okay, what mountain ranges do you think that we're by? Look at our map. What geographic features? Okay, so we're possibly by the Rocky Mountains. I have a question for you. If we're by those Rocky Mountains and we're looking at those buffalo, what might we do for our food? Okay. We could use it for our clothing. We could use it for our food. What else could we use the buffalo for?
Shelter.
Okay, how could we use it for our shelter? How would that connect?
We can get a lot of buffaloes, use their skin, and make it as a...
One of the biggest things that I see is communication. If me and Andy do not speak the same language, I still have to be able to teach Andy. Me and Andy still have to be able to have a conversation. How could me and Andy communicate with each other? Raise your hand if you have a good idea. Okay, I could use some pictures, right? He could draw a picture of what he needs, and I probably have seen that thing, and I can kind of point in the direction that he could go. So we could find some type of common language or some type of pictures that we have. So one of the questions you had to answer was, what region was it? Now I want you to provide some evidence and reasoning why. So your discussion is going to change a little bit. You're no longer going to be discussing how to survive. You're now going to be saying, this is the blank region because I know this is the plains region because I see this, this, and this. Capisci? Now, I want you to challenge yourself to only use things that is in the environment. Because remember, at the end of this unit, you guys are going to have to develop evidence and reasoning from each chapter to support the claim the environment was the most important factor in shaping indigenous Native American cultures. Everything has to go back to the environment. What does it look like if I were to live there? So you have your map to help you. You have your table to help you. You also have the picture to help you. If you need my sentence frame, it says, I think this image is from the blank region because. Any questions? Are you ready? All right. Here's the first image. Talk with your table. What region is this and why? Tell me why. All right, what region is this?
Southeast.
Okay, Aiden, tell me one piece of evidence. Why do you think it's the southeast? Okay, it has a body of water, but so does picture 3. So give me some more. It looks like a bayou. How do y'all know it looks like a bayou or a swamp?
Because of the trees.
Okay.
The trees are like in the water that's surrounded.
Okay.
The trees are like in the water too.
So what state does this remind you of? Louisiana, right? So we have some knowledge from what we know Louisiana looks like to kind of help us in this picture. All right, I like that idea. See if there's some features that you guys can look at. So think about where you know the southeast region is and think about what geographic feature might be located in that image. All right, where are we at? All right, hocus pocus. What region is this? All right, now we can use our knowledge from what we know Louisiana looks like to help us, right? How many of you driving down the road or going in your backyard or going on a trip with your parents have seen a setting like this in real life? Okay. Now I challenged 2 tables, so I'll give the challenge to everyone. Look at your map that you have on your table. What geographic feature do you think is in this image? What geographic feature, you have to look on the Gabriella's. What geographic feature do you think is in this image? I want everybody to have an answer in 5, 4. It's the southeast region, so use your directions. Go south, go a little bit over to the east. What geographic feature do you think is in this image in 4? In 3, in 2, and 1. Class? The Mississippi River. Good job. It could be a little bayou or a stream, but for us, we know it's possibly something from the Mississippi River. Are you ready for our next picture? All right, here you go. Next picture. Today, your exit ticket question says, describe how the environment, and remember that's the only thing we've talked about today is the environment of the Southeast region and how it influenced the way of life for the indigenous people who live there. You do have success criteria. You're going to tell me one environmental factor, one thing from the environment and how it met the people's needs. And I want you to be specific. Tell me specifically what geographic feature they used and how it impacted their life. And then I want you to make sure that you write in complete sentences using some type of science, social studies vocabulary. If you finish early and Miss Woodard approves, your feedback is good. You're going to continue reading chapter 7 of your textbook. Are we ready? Yes. All right, you have 4 minutes. Remember, I'm not expecting an essay. I want one geographic feature and I want one example. So 1 to 2 sentences. Go. Chloe, bring your paper. Come see. All right. What geographic feature do you want to talk about in the Southeast region?
The Southeast region, I think I might want to talk about the waters.
Okay, so tell me what you want.
So I think people can survive by using the land that's over there and like having the land to fish and to like plant stuff, and so therefore I feel like the people can very live there because they can use animals for their hides to make clothing and use their like teeth and stuff to make tools.
Okay, let's try to be a little bit more specific. When we think about the water, think about how we talked about the types of houses they're going to have. In the Southeast region, what type of house are they going to have because of the water?
I think they might have, what's it called?
You can describe it to me.
Like, it's like in the ground, basically. The ground houses or the earth lodges.
Okay, if there's a lot of water, do you think they want to live in something that's close on the ground? Next to the bayou and the swamp?
What are those houses called when they're elevated?
A chicky?
A chicky.
Why would you want to live in a chicky?
Because if it floods, because you're by a lot of water, you're not going to want your house to be just it'll make under the water.
Okay, and where do they get the resources to build that house from, though?
The trees.
The trees and the environment, right? All right, so when we're looking at our success criteria, did you tell me a piece from the environment? Okay, did you tell me how that connects to what they build for food, shelter, or trade?
Yes.
And were you specific and gave me a specific example?
Yes.
Good job. All right, you can go back to your desk.
Do you want me to take the picture?
Yes, you can. I don't think I took your pencil.
No, I don't.
By big bodies of water to help them grow crops and fish and travel across. Ooh, I love how you remembered to use the Mississippi River and gave a specific example. Good job, Madison.
Thank you.
The lesson objectives were clearly met today. The majority of students were able to fully respond to the exit ticket using accurate evidence and details from the lesson. Moving forward, I would strengthen the connection to specific geographic features of the region to help students practice more precise and detailed written responses. While most students were able to explain how rivers provided fertile soil and opportunities for trade, having students identify and name specifically the Mississippi River would have deepened their understanding and strengthened their connection to the Southeast region. Following this lesson, students were able to complete a map activity to identify and label the major geographic features of each region and began learning more about the characteristics of the indigenous civilizations that live there. As the unit continues, students will maintain an evidence and reasoning chart to explain how the environment influenced each region's way of life. This structure will allow me to provide targeted support to students who may be struggling, as well as an opportunity for extension to students who are ready for a challenge.